I have to warn you that some of what I share with you may seem counterintuitive, and it may be different than what you've been taught in school or what your current level of belief is right now. But I can absolutely tell you that if you want to make dramatic change in your life, if you want to propel yourself toward a passion-filled, purpose-driven life, one full of great health, love, more wealth than you'd ever dreamt of before, then we're going to have to smash through some dysfunctional belief systems and habits that may have been getting in your way before. I want to get right to the point and right into delivering some amazing value for you guys so that you can start using the power of your mind to create for yourself your dream life situation. You'll get to master techniques for connecting with your powerful subconscious mind so that you can uncover and live your true purpose to your fullest potential. The thought power secrets that I'm going to share with you can be used to increase your income, overcome fears and self-doubt, lose weight, attract true love if you're single, respark the love if you're already in a relationship, improve your lifestyle, increase health and vitality, feel happier and stress-free, achieve any challenging goal or dream, and so much more. Some of what I share with you may sound counterintuitive at first. You don't get taught this stuff in school. You won't hear about it in your home. And the reason why is that most people don't know about it. But thought power, the ability to use it to create and bend reality for yourself, has been around for thousands of years. However, most regular people like you and I have never been taught it. Slowly but surely over time, this power has been taken from us, away from our upbringing, and instead has been used to a large extent against us. It's like this. When you take an animal and put it in a zoo, then you let that animal breed in captivity and let its offspring breed in captivity too, and so forth and so on. Sooner or later, those animals forget entirely what it ever used to be like to be free, and they see the zoo as the real world. In fact, if you put them in the jungle and let's say you gave them the option, they'd try to run back to the zoo if they knew the way. Even though their freedom, their ability to forge an abundant and more natural life for themselves has been inhibited, they now see the zoo as their comfort zone place and prefer to live out their life there. Now, that's okay if you're happy where you are and you have no ambition or don't wish to change your situation. But if you do wish to have dramatic and miraculous changes in your life, if you do wish to bend reality to make and build the life of your dreams, full of limitless wealth, better health, your ultimate love life situation, low stress, high energy, and more, then today is going to be one of the most important hours of your life. And the reason is that I'm going to help unlock your thinking, unlock your access to the huge power source that's inside of you, that connection between your conscious mind, your subconscious mind, and the reality that you experience. The fact that this enormous space of mental power has been inside us for so long might make you question, how did it get hidden from you? And why did this happen? Well, it's been an evolution of our society over many thousands of years. Thousands of years ago, ancient rulers of Egypt and other civilizations used various mind control tactics in order to maintain their rule and authority over people. They'd get elaborate art created, carefully craft stories to make their people feel like their rulers had a divine right to be in power and that it was the people's duty to serve them. They stopped allowing parents to teach their children to have ambition and instead created curriculums that meant that they had control over the thoughts and beliefs being taught to their people. And they did this without their people even knowing it. All the while, the people thought they had free will, that they were choosing their own thoughts, their own beliefs, and that their divine rulers had their best interests at heart. This kind of powerful brainwashing has been prevalent in every major religion, every major government organization that has come to have excessive levels of power. It has been prevalent in major corporations, in their advertising, in our school systems and their structure. And we even carry it on in the way we bring up our children because we don't know any better. It's not your fault. It's not your parents' fault. It's not even the fault of your teachers. They don't even know about just how powerful your thoughts are. They don't even know that these thoughts can be harnessed to totally reshape your reality. And even if they heard about it, they would just dismiss it as hocus pocus because they're more comfortable living life in their own bubble than to realize and acknowledge that the bubble exists and has been there this whole time. So please keep an open mind and it will be a massive turning point. So I've been a board certified clinical hypnotherapist for many years now, and I've been practicing hypnotherapy as far back as the late 1980s. I originally studied psychology at the University of Florida, and several years later, I went back to study and complete a doctorate in education at Georgia Southern University. Through being known as one of the United States' leading hypnotherapists, I managed to get to know a lot of brilliant and insightful people. I'm talking about people such as Bob Proctor, John Assaraf, Bill Harris, Don Clark, Sonia Riccati, and even reality TV stars, Fortune 500 executives, actors, actresses, sports stars, and more. Conversations often emerge with these people on topics to do with the power of thought, and many of them already had great insight that made me delve deeper and deeper into research into how reality really works and the role that the mind has in shaping your destiny. I have to say I've been shocked, not just by the power of what I'm about to share with you, but the actual results that have been achieved by my clients. I've seen some people go from being 70 pounds overweight to dropping the unwanted pounds and, more importantly, losing the cravings from their mind for good. I've seen people multiply their incomes by 10 times and even higher. And I'm not saying this happens to everyone. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme, and I'm not claiming the same results for every person, but what I am saying is that the mind has the power to shape your reality in so many ways. Some people use the power of the mind to bring about their ideal love life situation or to gain a competitive advantage in sports. I've worked with major baseball league players and actors and CEOs and countless regular people who want to make big shifts in their lives. I've been a total junkie when it comes to learning, practicing, and harnessing the power of the mind. I've used it to reach my own millionaire potential. I've used it to reach my health goals, and I love getting to travel places that I would have never dreamed of seeing when I grew up. And I want all of that and more for you. So over the past bunch of years, I went from being borderline bankrupt, crushed under credit card debt, being called by creditors right, left, center, until my voice messages just got overloaded. And that's when things finally started working. And today I'm a multimillionaire. I've been featured on Bravo TV's Millionaire Matchmaker. Here's how I got from point A to point B. And point A is not fun. So if you had met me when I was at point A, you would have met a guy who was working 60 hours a week just to pay the rent, when at the same time, my credit card balance grew to alarming levels. My overall debt was well over $80,000. And it got to a nasty point where someone was telling me that if I didn't make a payment of at least $30,000 by no later than 3 p.m. on the last Monday of this month, then they'd have no choice but to push this through to their debt collection agency, who would then proceed to take legal action against me. When I was contacted concerning this, I begged for more time, but they turned me down point blank. And that's when I realized that I was completely screwed. I don't think I've ever been so scared in all my life as I was in that moment. That was a long way away from the life that I wanted to be living. And I was deeply worried about where my life might be heading. So things had gone off track, a long way off track. That's when things got worse. My health started deteriorating. I got sick. And then I heard about some of my so-called friends saying nasty things about me behind my back, not to mention that I'd already been through a failed marriage also. So I was at rock bottom. It was make it or break it time. And that's when I decided to write down on a piece of paper the question, what does my dream life look like? Then I closed my eyes and I meditated on it. I allowed myself to dream. This was very uncomfortable for me. My brain wanted to protect me from considering dreaming about something that certainly couldn't possibly ever happen, but I allowed myself to dream anyway. I allowed myself to dream big. My theory was that I'd be better off chasing a positive outcome than trying to run away from the negative situation that I was in. In hindsight, that proved to be step one and an amazing turning point for me, by the way. I wrote down everything that I wanted my ideal life to look like. I got really specific. I even wrote down notes about what I'd like people to think of me, what kinds of friends I'd like to have, where I'd like to travel, even what I'd be eating for breakfast when I was traveling. So shortly after that, several people started entering my life, very positive influences, in fact. One of them, Frank, led me to several wealth creation ideas that caused me to go from borderline bankrupt to being a cash millionaire in less than 1 year. And it didn't stop there. I kept doing more research into the wealth thoughts and habits kept by super wealthy people. And I got to know over 100 millionaires in person. I read books, I did other research, and worked on things myself. I got in there, I jumped in. And I expanded this further into other areas of life. As life isn't all about money, what use is money if you can't create your dream life scenario with it? Some of the wealthiest people whom I've worked with over the years, Fortune 500 executives, actors, and so forth, for them, money hasn't always been enough to bring happiness, because if you're not living a life that works for you, one that you love, and that means having good health, having your ideal love life situation, whatever it may be for you, being successful in your goals and endeavors. If those things aren't going well, then I don't care how much money you load up into the bathtub and start swimming in it, it's not going to be enough to make you happy. That said, having more money can make it a lot easier to achieve better health, more success, a great love life, because it allows you to live life on your terms, free of finance-related stress, which can cause harm outside of just your pocket. So I made my own system, and I used this approach with many of my clients. In the years that followed, I came to be one of the foremost authorities on how to create a life you truly love. I'd gone from being a struggling hypnotherapist who could barely land a client to having a thriving list of clients, many of whom were Fortune 500 executives, celebrities, authors, entrepreneurs, and of course, lots of regular folk. And thanks to this approach, things went nuts beyond anything I ever could have imagined. Hundreds of my students and clients achieved phenomenal success. Following the success of many of my students and even celebrity clients like Olympic coach Ali Kelbrin, Tom Mankiewicz, the writer of Superman the movie, Geraldine Saunders, creator of the Love Boat TV series, Brian Cohen, a PGA Tour golf pro, and more. I'm well aware that Geraldine Saunders, creator of the Love Boat series, has since passed away. I wanted to mention her just before, as she's someone who I worked with who had positive things to say about me, and she's a phenomenal woman. And she lived her dream life all the way till she passed away at the ripe old age of 95. I got interviewed by many popular TV networks and magazines like Forbes, People, CNN, NBC, and CBS, just to name a few. As a hypnotherapist, I've worked with celebrities, CEOs, athletes, and I've also had a pile of success with thousands of regular people through my programs. I first want to start off by doing a quick exercise. It's really critical that you do this because I want you to win at life. And in order to make that happen, I want you to win at generating more money. What money territory are you living your life in right now? Please be honest with yourself. From what I've seen, 35% of people live in the crisis territory. Now, this is living paycheck to paycheck. Either there's a lot of debt hanging over your head that you are not able to pay off, or it's building. And if anything goes wrong, like you get sick or miss a day of work or have an unexpected bill arise, then it becomes an emergency. Now, if you're in that situation, I've got good news. I have a way to show you how to get out of that situation. Another 50% of people live in the just getting by territory. They've got a tiny buffer of cash that might hold off any money issues for half a year or so. And right now, they're probably living life okay and even enjoying life, but they're not living their dream life. And they certainly aren't maximizing their potential or living their true purpose. Now, if this sounds more like you, then I'm going to reveal precisely what to do in order to break free of the just getting by territory and move into the dream life territory, where you get to have more more than enough money, plenty of buffer in case of a monetary setback, and you get the financial freedom and security to do what you want with who you want and get to choose when you want to do it. This level of freedom and overall success is something that you can achieve right now. Let's start with the millionaire mind switch method. Now, this is a method in which you retrain the right part of your brain to overcome limiting internal obstacles and replace these thoughts with those of a millionaire. The thoughts that you consciously think in your mind are largely given to you through years of brainwashing. And this comes from well-meaning parents. It flows in the playground, at schools, and from our peers. And we get told things about ourselves and how the world works by our teachers and later by our bosses and all sorts of people in our lives. It's amazing how deeply rooted all of our beliefs and fears and limitations, habits, perceptions, all of that can become. They get so deeply rooted that most people don't even know that they're there. And one of the big reasons they don't know that they're there is that a lot of it exists at a subconscious level. On a conscious level, you might say many positive things about yourself and about how the world works. But unless there's a positive balance between your subconscious and your conscious mind, then you won't find it easy to build your dream life. The millionaire mind switch method includes 5 core beliefs that I want you to adopt. I am committed to being wealthy and living the life of my dreams. I understand that money is not linear and with the right systems can be grown exponentially. I understand that there is only one of me and I am unique. I am of high value and I am worthy of dream life success. I am always the student and I love more things that bring me closer to my goals. I have a high level of belief in myself, and I never need to approve of others. I choose myself for success and plan on inspiring others in the future. Now, writing these down and actually believing every word of these phrases at your inner core are 2 different things. Your conscious mind will understand the purpose, and out loud, if I ask you, you might even give me the right answer and tell me you believe these things. Some of you may even say, no, I don't believe any of that, and I can't make myself believe what isn't true. The great news is that you don't have to believe any of these statements right now in order for them to work for you. Just spend 5 minutes a day, every day, meditating on them or saying them out loud. And now, if you do that for a long period of time, this millionaire brain switching, sooner or later, you'll retrain your brain to take on those belief systems, and you won't even realize it until you start hearing comments from others who say things like, wow, you've changed, or when your life starts going from strength to strength. People ask you, how did you do that? What's your secret? What's really super important is that you realize that if you want to become a highly successful person, someone who wealth and money just flows to easily, someone who gets to live on their own terms and travel, live debt-free, support charities, sleep well at night with little or no stress, then you need to realize that successful people, these kinds of people, do not allow their current circumstances or results to control them. So I urge you, do not let your current circumstances get in the way of achieving the success and goals that you want to have happen to you. So let's look now at these so-called common sense beliefs that may be holding you back. The first one is everything happens for a reason. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. Well, yes, everything does happen for a reason in the fact that if you drop a glass of water on a hard floor, it will smash and water will go everywhere. Or if someone is drinking while driving and that causes a car crash, then the reason for that crash can be tracked back to the alcohol. But that saying is very often used as a cop-out when things don't go well in life. For example, if a woman gets divorced by her husband, then when well-meaning friends may say, it's okay, everything happens for a reason. Or they'll say, if it's meant to be, then he'll come back. Or in other situations like health, people will say, if I was meant to be healthy, then I wouldn't like the taste of pizza and burgers. This is a dysfunctional statement. It's dysfunctional because it tells your mind that you have no control over your life and that random things happen and you just have to accept what comes your way, as though it's preordained and meant to be. The truth is you have personal power, a lot of it. While you may not be able to control what others do, you totally can set up your life on a path destined for success in all areas. A better way to frame things is this, and I realize it's a long statement, but sometimes a more thought out belief framing is better than a short rule of thumb that's causing you harm. Here's how to reframe the everything happens for a reason dysfunctional belief. I accept what is. My past does not equal my future. I always look for the silver lining. My life is an adventure. I love the journey, challenges, and all. I am excited by and always chase damn hard for what could be. So the next dysfunctional belief is, it's too late. If I was going to be successful at X, I would have done it already. Again, this is unfortunately another instance of your brain trying to keep your life consistent. As a survival mechanism, keeping on doing what you've been doing up until this point in your life has helped keep you alive. So back in the day when lions, tigers, snakes, and so forth were a real threat, it made total sense that sticking to doing what you're already doing was a smart thing to do, even if that meant taking less risk and limiting your opportunities. But this is the 21st century, and this is an outdated program running in your mind on autopilot. The truth is, most people who become millionaires make their first million after the age of 45. Many millionaires make their first million in their 60s and sometimes in their 70s. The truth is, some people are healthier in their 60s than they ever were in their 40s. Some people find that their marriage is more successful in their 60s than it was in their 30s. Some people meet the love of their life at the age of 80 and others at 25. The fact is, it's never too late for life to suddenly change path toward that of the extraordinary. It's like listening to a radio station. You may have a favorite station that you listen to every day on the drive to work, but if you were ever to get sick of that station or you didn't like the new host they have on the show or something, there's always the option of switching to another station. And the same goes for the path that you take in all areas of your life. So a better way to reframe that is this. Now is as good a time as any to design and live a life that I love. There are multiple exciting paths, so it's okay to redesign and make changes along the way. That brings us to dysfunctional belief number 3. Vacation, socializing, and exercise are to be thought of as taking time off. This couldn't be further from the truth. There's a sad reality in that most of the Western world sees many people die within a decade of retirement. They work themselves to the hilt, live through decades of stress, anxiety, lack of sleep, all so they can retire and be happy. But that model is so broken, it's crazy. You can't just live 65 years and then decide, right, now it's time to be happy. Life is a journey, not a destination. If you treat it as a destination, then your body has a way of deciding that it's time to shut things down now. I'm not saying you should drop all your responsibilities. I'm saying that you should never feel guilty about bringing more balance into your life, even if that might seem difficult right now. Making it a priority to move toward a life in which you have more time for socializing, exercising, vacations, and so forth will bring much better balance to your life. And you'll find in the long run that you have more energy, become more productive, and your positive energy brings more influence over others too. So you end up being more successful in all areas of your life anyway. So here's a better way to reframe this. I'm more productive when I keep my life well balanced. Exercise, vacations, and spending time with friends and family are a big part of what makes me a happy, successful, abundant person. Let's look at dysfunctional belief number 4. I should have done better in my life by now. This can be a really big cause of depression in a lot of people. It's really sad, but that disparity between our expectations about what should be happening right now and what is happening can cause a lot of self-destructive thinking that really doesn't need to happen at all. Don't beat yourself up. The truth is that over 85% of people are not where they thought they'd be in life right now. You know what? When you watch a movie and you see a hero's journey, do you think halfway through that movie that the hero really thought he or she would be in the dire straits situation that they find themselves in? No, probably not. Most people don't plan on becoming pregnant at 16 or being a solo dad at 45 or struggling taxi driver who finds it hard to make ends meet. Most people don't expect that they will get to 50 and be 50 pounds overweight or suffering from chronic fatigue. There are many cases of what should have happened and what does happen where there can be disparity. And I want you to know that there's no such thing as should have. Should have doesn't actually exist. All that's left is what is. You can't go back and should have done something. All you can do is be here in the now, learn lessons from what has already happened, and treat life as though your past is simply your backstory and now is the beginning of a new phase in your incredible life. There's an irony in dwelling too long on what should have happened because you're only able to dwell on the past during the present moment, but then you're using up valuable present moments, stewing over a past that you cannot change, and that causes you to feel anxious, regretful, and stressed. It's a form of self-torture that has no positive impact. Here's a quote from the late Dr. Wayne Dyer that I think is particularly relevant. Do God's other creatures waste the present in thoughts of the past and future? A beaver only does beaver, and he does it right in the moment. He doesn't spend his days wishing he were a young beaver again or ruminating over the fact that his beaver siblings receive more attention or his father beaver ran off with a younger beaver when he was growing up. He's always in the now. So instead of the phrase, I should have done better in my life by now, I want you to reframe this as, I accept what is and I love the life that I have. I have learned many great lessons in life, and those are what make me a better person, both today and in the future. My next adventure in life starts now, and I am excited about every moment that today brings. There's a fifth dysfunctional belief I'd like to quickly address. Making money is a linear process directly related to time and effort. This commonly held belief leads many people to get stuck in the rat race of working more hours, getting less sleep, and focusing entirely on pay raises and bonuses as their only method for increasing their weekly cash flow. Even if your conscious belief is that money is non-linear, and even if you realize that millionaires are making money in a non-linear way, it's still possible that your subconscious mind thinks that for you personally, making money is a linear process directly related to time. The truth is, money is not linear at all. And what I mean by that is money is actually a representation of life energy. For a garden shed to be made, there have to be tools, equipment, a plan, and at least one person to do the labor of building it. That equipment, that building, that shed, nails, hammers, wood, etc., took people to make those things. And those things cost money also. Each item, whether it be the shed that's worth, say, $2,000, the hammer that is worth $35 that helped hammer the nails into the shed, the laborer who got paid $300 to put the shed together, it's all life energy that leads to its creation. So in this case, $2,000 represents the life energy that went into making that shed, not just the person building it, but for everything involved in its creation. So if money is a representation of life energy and life grows and multiplies, then it makes sense that money can grow and multiply also, right? And that's how millionaires see money. And that's how I want you to see money also. Remember, there is only one of you. So if all the money you receive is based on your life energy and your life energy alone, then there will always be a limit on what you can bring in. But if you create little income producing assets, whether that be a little website that brings in affiliate commissions every day, or whether you invest in a house that pays you rent each week, or whether you simply buy a few shares of stock in the company you work for, if you create income producing assets, no matter how small, then sooner or later, you'll see that money creates money, just like how life creates life. In my system, I share different wealth pathways of millionaires, and any one of them has the potential to make you seven figures or more. It starts small and it grows. For instance, here's an example. If you were to import 100 unicorn slippers at $2 a slipper and send them to Amazon.com, and let's say you price them on Amazon at $9.95. Let's say Amazon takes fees that total $4, so you're left with $4 per sale. Imagine if you find that every 14 days you have kept buying 100 more slippers as you're selling about 5 to 7 of them every day. So right now, you're making $200 a week from a non-linear method. And then to grow that, you might take half of that $200 a week that you're making and buy unicorn socks or some other item and get that selling on Amazon also. Next thing you know, you're making $400 a week. Then you apply this strategy again and again, and within 6 months, you're looking at over $3,000 a week in clear profit, and everyone is asking you what on earth you're doing and how you're suddenly able to afford to do all this stuff. This example may sound like a pipe dream to many of you, but I can assure you that I know well over 100 millionaires whom this kind of revenue growth is a typical story. For you, it could be physical products on Amazon, but it might not be. You might want to run a little blog that promotes personal development products and earns you a commission. Or you might want to invest in real estate, or you might want to try the stock market investing secret that my friend Ryan has used to bring in millions of dollars each year for himself every year consistently since 2004. There are many paths to wealth success, and most of them are non-linear. So to reframe that dysfunctional belief, here's one that I suggest you take on board. Money is a way of putting a value on life force energy. Much like life, when nurtured in the right wealth vehicle, money grows and multiplies. I love spending time or money on creating passive side income wealth. One of the easiest ways to reprogram these dysfunctional beliefs and habits from a deep subconscious level is to use the power of meditation and self-hypnosis. That's why for anyone who is part of my program, I actually give you guided meditation tracks that have been specifically designed to reprogram your inner mind towards lifetime abundant success. Now, according to the University of California in Los Angeles, we each have about 60,000 to 70,000 thoughts a day, of which 90% are exactly the same as the day before. But of more critical importance is that subconscious thoughts account for about 95% of our thinking, which means that only 5% of our thoughts are held at a conscious level. So if our willpower in the present moment right now wants us to think positive, unfortunately, almost nothing can be done at a conscious level to overcome any negative or deep-seated subconscious thought processes. You can't just think your way out of limiting thought patterns in a single moment, and you can't just do it at the conscious level. The key is to communicate with and influence your subconscious mind, and by intentionally creating subconscious thoughts, emotions, and habits, you hold the key to changing your entire reality. Your subconscious mind holds immense power, power that if you could tap into it and influence it and use it to its potential, you'd be able to skyrocket your life success in all areas: health, wealth, your relationships, the achievement of your goals, dreams, and more. What I believe is that the power has been given to us to shape our lives exactly as we want to shape them. But that power has been given to us within our own bodies, not out there. The power is within you. It has been there all along. It resides deep in your subconscious mind. Remember, 90% of our thoughts are the same thoughts we had yesterday. 95% of our thoughts are entirely on autopilot, controlled by our subconscious. It's not all that surprising to see that most people don't make dramatic shifts in their lives because their thoughts don't change. And I know a lot of successful people, millionaires, athletes, actors, actresses. And you know what is the one thing that I've seen over and over again on the path to success? It's the ability to grow and enhance the subconscious mind. Successful people don't stay at their current skill level. They don't stay at their current way of thinking. They keep getting better. They evolve. And because of that, they become world class at what they do. But this is not just a tool for the best in the world. I've seen regular people take hold of this power and use it to make incredible improvements in their financial situation, in their relationships, in weight loss, and so much more. Your subconscious mind holds the key to dramatically improved health, the key to gaining limitless wealth, to being more charismatic and well-liked, and the key to success in many areas of goal achievement. And to achieve this, the absolute best and easiest way is to put ourselves in a state of meditation by lowering the frequency of our brain waves. And the most effective way of doing this is through guided meditation tracks, otherwise known as self-hypnosis tracks. What I find really exciting is that 40 years ago, we didn't really understand how to curb negative beliefs or habits. We didn't know how to blast through doubts, fears, obstacles, and so forth that were holding us back. But today, because of studies into hypnotherapy, brain research, and so forth, it's much easier than ever before to change your internal mental program around money. So, are you committed, really and truly committed to take your life to a stage where you are financially free and living in the dream life territory? So modern neuroscience has shown us that we all have subconscious beliefs and habits that clog up our brain's true power. Unfortunately, these habits and beliefs can really clog things up and stop our minds from realizing their true power. Unproductive, destructive, and limiting beliefs and habits can demotivate you and stop you from doing the things that you need to be doing to achieve the wealth, success, and freedom that you deserve. There are two main parts to your mind, the conscious mind and the subconscious. Beliefs, thoughts, and habits that are conscious can often be different from beliefs, thoughts, and habits that are subconscious. For example, a conscious belief would be if you were to say, I believe I can earn an extra $500 a week in a passive side income, or I believe I can make $1 million in the next 2 years, or I believe I can buy a house by the beach with 4 bedrooms for my family, and I can do that in the next few years. I believe I can attract and live my dream life and that anything is possible. Now, that's all well and good, but that's just the conscious part of your mind talking and not deeply ingrained into your subconscious. Yet it's your subconscious that really is in control of the majority of your beliefs, your thoughts, and your habits. Remember, your subconscious mind is really just the pilot of your dream life airplane. So many of these little internal programs are running on autopilot. Programs like, do I deserve this? Am I good enough? Am I too old? Am I too young? I've tried so many things before and nothing ever works. Can I really do this? This can happen to other people, but can it really happen to me? These subconscious thoughts are running in the background 24/7 on autopilot. They absolutely sabotage your motivation, passion, eagerness, and every attempt you make to improve your wealth situation. They're like constipation in your brain. They block up your mind and they stop you from betting on yourself. And they halt you from doing what you know that you should do every day. So the first step to changing your results is changing your powerful subconscious beliefs. And those start with exercise that I shared with you a few minutes ago. I've had hundreds of people write to me, sharing with me how powerfully effective this one step alone has been in their lives. Most people don't understand that knowledge and habit are two different things. I don't want you to understand my approach. I want you to be someone who is experiencing living their dream life on their terms. This daily process that only takes minutes each day reverses years of brain clogging beliefs and unproductive habits. You will be able to achieve and accomplish any financial goal that you choose. Now I want to cover what is one of the greatest discoveries this century. I will explain why it's so important and how it relates to making more money in just a moment. Neuroscience calls this discovery brain plasticity. This is the human brain's amazing ability to reorganize itself by forming new connections between the brain cells. Research has demonstrated that the environment in which a person immerses themselves in, as well as the actions they take, play a significant role in plasticity. For so long, it was believed that as we aged, the connections in the brain became fixed, then simply faded. But research has demonstrated that, in fact, the brain never stops changing through learning. In addition to that, brain plasticity has shown us that all your behavior, thoughts, beliefs, and habits, they are not hardwired. When you commit to using the right framework and tools for even a few minutes a day, you have the power to literally reprogram your brain to higher levels of thought and performance. And this starts right now.
Please sit back and relax so we can get started. Make yourself comfortable. Place your feet flat on the floor and rest your hands on your thighs. Rest your hands down by your side and gently allow your eyelids to close. And just begin to allow yourself to relax, letting all your cares and worries go. At this moment in time, nothing matters. As you switch off your thoughts, just allow this time for yourself so that you can unwind completely. And as you begin to feel more and more relaxed, letting go of any worries or challenges, anything that may have been weighing on your mind lately, let it go. There is no need to fight any unwanted negative thoughts, as they will soon drift out of your mind again. Just as easily as they came, I would like you to take a couple of deep breaths, filling your lungs with fresh air. And as you exhale, you will relax more and more. With every exhale, and as you gently slow your breathing down, you begin to feel more and more relaxed, more and more comfortable. You will feel your entire body sinking into the couch or chair, or wherever you may happen to be, and you will notice how relaxed your whole body has become, from the top of your head to the tips of your toes. Your eyelids have become very heavy and may even twitch at this moment as you let go of any tension in your body. All the muscles in your jaw have become limp and relaxed, and your jaw sinks down, and your tongue rests gently on the bottom of your mouth, and you are beginning to drift down deeper and deeper, feeling more and more relaxed with every word I speak. And as this wave of relaxation spreads down your neck and shoulders, all the way down your arms to your fingertips, you may feel a tingling sensation in your fingertips as your arms grow as heavy as lead, and you soon become aware of a growing, peaceful feeling inside, a feeling of calmness and contentment as you feel every muscle in your chest and abdomen relax, and all the muscles in your back are relaxing. It's almost like a mental massage. And all the way down your spine, the muscles loosen and relax. And as you drift down deeper and more deeply relaxed, you let this wave of relaxation spread all the way down your legs, so that your legs feel heavy as well. At the end of this hypnosis session, any heaviness you feel will be lifted and removed from your perception. But for now, every muscle in your legs becomes loose, limp, relaxed, so that you are completely relaxed from the top of your head to the tips of your toes. And as the outside world fades more and more into the background, and as you begin your journey into your own inner world, to that unique and special part of you that only you can go to, you continue to let go of any negative thoughts or feelings and any sounds around you or in the distance. They will just fade into the background. The only sound that will matter to you will be the sound of my voice, which will continue to take you deeper and deeper into a wonderful state of relaxation. And you may soon find that your mind begins to wander. And as it does, it doesn't matter where you drift, where you go in your mind. My voice will travel with you at all times, so that you will continue to respond to me on an unconscious level. And in a few moments' time, you will hear me say the word now. And when you hear me say the word now, all the unnecessary nervous tension will go out of your body, and your body will continue to sink down and become more and more limp, more and more relaxed, and comfortable too. And these feelings will last throughout this hypnosis session. So just feel yourself sinking down into the couch or chair or bed or floor, wherever you may be now. If you have a pillow, your head is sinking down into the pillow. You are becoming even more comfortable, feeling completely at peace and calm and content as you continue to drift down, and you allow yourself to enjoy this wonderful feeling of complete relaxation. And there may be times when you will be unaware of your body, and you will be unaware of your body at all during these times. As you continue to go deeper and deeper and become more deeply relaxed, deeper and deeper and more deeply relaxed, you are creating your dream life, and you are moving toward it at full speed. All of your goals are within reach, and you are actively building an amazing future. Every challenge you face is a blessing in disguise, and you overcome each one easily. You believe in yourself, and you are 200% confident in your ability to change and grow. You always overcome those obstacles in your way. As a result, you naturally attract positive outcomes. You power through life's changes, and this makes you wiser, stronger, and more kind. You are worthy of greatness. You give yourself permission to chase your dreams. You empower yourself every day to take action and make positive and lasting change in your life as well as other people's lives. You are an unstoppable force of change that makes the world a better place. You inspire those around you to be the best version of themselves, and your presence is a gift to them. Every year, thousands of people like you overcome their own challenges. They face the same circumstances as yours, and they have found a way to triumph over them. They've transformed their financial situation by creating efficient systems in their lives and cultivating positive habits. And by doing all of this, they naturally have attracted positive outcomes and massive wealth in their lives. You are one of these happy, fulfilled, and successful people who effortlessly generates wealth. You actively cultivate and practice the mindset traits of a millionaire, and this empowers you to take action today, as you can reap tomorrow's rewards. Every day you flood your mind with positive influences that rewire your thought patterns. You model your thinking after people who are where you want to be. You surround yourself with people who lift you up and energize you. You flood yourself with the vast knowledge from other successful people, and it helps you grow and think like a millionaire. You are the master of your life because you are forever the student. You have a thirst for knowledge, and you are a lifelong learner. You learn something new every day, and it enriches you more and more. You dare to dream big, and you live life on your own terms. You can work anytime, anywhere you want. And you're free to travel to places that you have seen in dreams and gone to in dreams. You live a healthy life because you have time to cook, exercise, and enjoy rich, nourishing meals with your family and friends. You are financially responsible, but you can also afford luxuries when you need to, and within reason. You are always expanding your comfort zone and venturing out into unfamiliar territory. You build your confidence by taking calculated risks. As you become more confident, you also find that you are more prepared for bigger risks, and you reap even bigger rewards. You make sure to plan ahead and prepare for every situation. You learn from your mistakes and you capitalize on your successes. You live your life with integrity, and this attracts positive and favorable circumstances. You keep your word and follow through with your promises. You always make sure to get back to people at the promised time. You take ownership of your shortcomings and admit when you are wrong. You are ethical, and you take action when you see that something is wrong. You respect everyone regardless of who they are and where they're from. Whether they're your colleagues, subordinates, or superiors, you treat them with honesty, compassion, kindness, and humanity. You set your priorities every single day of your life, and you make the most of every single minute of your day. Your time is valuable, so you do everything you can to be as productive as possible. You create a plan to accomplish your biggest priorities for the day, and you make sure to follow through with your plans. You practice the habit of listing your most important tasks, and you schedule them for the coming weeks. Nothing gets by you, and this puts you on the fast track to making your dreams a reality. You have a plan in place for managing distractions and interruptions at work, and this helps you stay laser focused and in the zone at all times. You also value other people's time, so you make it a point to always be punctual and show up ahead of scheduled time. Your punctuality is a sign of self-discipline, which gives you credibility and earns the respect of your colleagues. You create wealth in a non-linear fashion, and you leverage your time in the best way possible. You open up multiple streams of income, which create many different paths to wealth over and over. You create value in the world, and you improve people's lives. As a result, you effortlessly create wealth in your life. You create wealth to improve your life and the lives of others. Money is a positive force in your life, and it helps you create even more value in the world. Money is your greatest life expansion tool. Money helps you remove old limitations and expand your horizons further and further out. Your wealth amplifies the goodness within you, and it enriches you emotionally and spiritually. You use your wealth as a conductor of positive energy that ripples toward the people in your life and the people in their lives, and so on. And that energy finds its way back to you, which allows you to create even more value. Wealth allows you to repeat this cycle over and over and over and over and over and over. And as you continue to relax, every breath you take is soothing you. Focus now on your breathing. I wonder how much attention you have paid to the many different thoughts floating through your mind. Your mind is so active even while it relaxes. And then you can become aware of how difficult it is to remember what I was talking about exactly 7 minutes ago. And you can try to remember what I was saying 9 minutes ago, or what you were thinking 4 minutes ago. But doesn't it seem like too much work? Work to do. You can choose to remember to forget what I said or to forget to remember what I said. The choice is yours. We'll be processing every word I have said. And each time you hear these words, that feels wonderful.
I want you to also be aware that I'm not talking about willpower here. It's not about forcing yourself to do things that you don't feel like doing. But I do want to give you, yourself, permission to reprogram your own mind to overcome doubts, fears, and anxiety around money, success, and the lack of money. I'm going to use an example about learning another language. And it would make total logical sense if you wanted to learn how to speak Hungarian, for instance, that you started taking classes or fly off to Hungary and immerse yourself there, or perhaps buy an online course or program. You'd know that you needed to take action daily and do the work to achieve the result. That makes logical sense. But your subconscious mind is programmed to keep you stuck inside your comfort zone. Your brain is programmed to make you survive. Usually, keeping on doing what you've been doing up to this point, well, that's the safest bet. That'll keep you alive. But we aren't living in the days where there are tigers, lions, snakes, so forth, prowling around nearby. Our minds are operating on an outdated program, one that needs updating to suit the real world that we live in today. It's the same with money. Once you are in a financial comfort zone, even even if this is the crisis or just getting by territory, your brain programs you to stay there. Your brain is attempting to keep you safe, but it's an outdated process. If you don't change that process, then the same stresses will keep occurring over and over. Things like having to work extra hours just to make ends meet, troubles in your relationship due to not having enough money. So there's things that you want to do and not enough money to do them. Constant worries about debt, your retirement, perhaps even your business growth if you have a business. All of these things will not change if the script itself doesn't change. What will your life be like 2 years from now, 5 years, 10 years from now if you don't change? How many holidays will you be able to have? How much retirement savings will you have? What will your work-life balance be like? How much sleep will you be getting? What will other people think of you? What will you think of yourself? Will you reach your full potential? According to a nurse who used to work with dying patients, she noted that the number one regret of those who were on their deathbed was, I wish I'd had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life others expect of me. I wish my life mattered and that I'd achieved my full potential. Most people had not honored even half of their dreams and had to die knowing it was due to choices they had made or not made. So my big question for you, it's processes and systems you've consciously created are what led to what you see in the outer world. Want a different outer world? Then you need to change your inner world. And that's why I'm here to help with that. Now, I want to go over the three main pathways to the subconscious mind. The first are repetition, the other meditation. Repetition of beneficial exercises is a proven pathway to locking those skills into your subconscious mind so they happen without thinking. Doing something repeatedly across separate days causes the subconscious to form stronger and stronger neural pathways, whether that be learning how to juggle or maximizing your wealth mindset or increasing your self-confidence. Our brains are absolutely incredible in how if we do something enough times, we learn to do it without thinking. Like to walk, we hold on to furniture, we fall over, we shuffle around, and eventually we're walking and we forget ever learning in the first place. Fast forward several years later when we learn to drive a car. At first, there's a lot of conscious activity going on there. When to look in the rear view mirror, when to indicate a turn, a lane change, what's the speed limit, but then after a while, all that happens with little conscious thought whatsoever. And we can now drive while having conversations and yet still maintain full reaction speed to any unexpected situation that may occur. Olympic divers learn to perform complex somersaults by first visualizing the moment in their mind many times over multiple days, so many times over that neural pathways are now set in the mind before they physically go out and attempt the maneuver. It's wonderful that our brains can do all this, but the challenge is that a lot of our subconscious thoughts, habits, and actions are dysfunctional, and left unattended, your thoughts and in turn your habits and actions will keep you in your current state of life that you're in right now. Change has to occur in the mind first before it will take hold and manifest in your physical reality. Your habits and your actions won't change if your thoughts at a subconscious level don't change. And the most effective method that I've come across in all my years as a clinical hypnotherapist, achieving results for thousands of clients, the most effective method is through a 4-step subconscious elevation method. Step 1, choose the reality that you want to have. Step 2, list down all the thoughts and habits that you'd have to have in order for that to be your reality. Think for a moment about how someone who is already successful at the thing you want to have happen to you, how they think. What's different about how they see the world compared to how you see it? Step 3, list any limiting beliefs or habits that you know you have that need to be changed and rephrase those into positive statements that will empower you going forward. For instance, if you want to make more money and you think that money is the root of all evil and you don't deserve it, then you would write down that negative thought. Then you write a positive statement that you'll be replacing it with. For instance, having money is a good thing. Money allows me to achieve more of my goals, and it allows me to help others more also. I am worthy and deserving of financial wealth. Step 4, work your way through the belief system that you want to imprint on your mind and reprogram your subconscious mind to take on those new thoughts, habits, and actions. In order to implement step 4, there are strategies to successfully communicate with and power up your unconscious mind. The first strategy is to use affirmations. An affirmation is a positive statement of a thought, habit, or action that you want to have imprinted on your mind. Simply write it down and say it out loud for 5 minutes straight every day for 60 days in a row for it to become deeply embedded in your subconscious mind. The second strategy, meditation. I strongly believe self-hypnosis tracks are hugely beneficial because I've seen the power of their success on my clients. I want to now go over the third strategy for successfully powering up your unconscious mind. This method is called vibrant energy thoughts. So what are vibrant energy thoughts? Well, our imagination is a crazy powerful thing. You can literally close your eyes and picture that you are on your dream vacation. Perhaps you're on a beach in the Bahamas, staying in a 5-star luxury resort. You can close your eyes and go to that place all with the power of your imagination. The thing is, though, what most people don't realize is that when we use our imagination and rather than just daydream about random things every day, we actually actively choose what we want to imagine. And we do this repetitively in an organized and systematized way. It becomes very, very powerful. So the key here is that you vibrate the feeling that you already have the same thing that you want. Remember that vibrant energy thoughts work best when you vibrate with the feelings that you already have the thing that you want. Now, I'm not saying to go around all day, every day being delusional and you're thinking, I have $1 million in the bank when you really don't. I'm talking about a mental thought power exercise that takes 5 minutes of your day. Just 5 minutes, not all day, just 5 minutes. And I'm not talking about picking different things to imagine each day either. That's fine to do, but that's called daydreaming. I'm talking about picking something you really want and using your vibrant energy thoughts to hone in on that feeling that you actually already have the thing that you want. I have an exercise that I want you to do with me now. I want you to imagine that you're a cyclist and you have a big race coming up. Now, this is not actually happening, but in your imagination, you can choose to imagine anything. And so I want you to do this thought exercise with me. I want you to imagine that you're one of the world's best cyclists, but also you're competing against some of the other best cyclists in the world. Now, I want you to imagine that you really want to win this race. I want you to imagine yourself wishing so badly that you can win. Lock into that feeling. Feel this vibration. Okay, let go of that vibration though. Now I want you to imagine feeling you are going to win this race. You know you've been training, you know you're one of the best in the world, and you know you're going to win this race. You're excited. You can't wait for race day because you're going to win. Feel this vibrant energy thought. Okay, now put that away. Now I want you to imagine how it feels if you know you have this race coming up, but you know you're going to lose the race. The other cyclists have been training just as hard as you have, and one of them is more than likely going to win. The odds on you winning are slim. You're not looking forward to losing. What would everyone else think of you? You're supposed to be this amazing cyclist, but you probably are not going to win. Feel this energy thought. Okay, now put that away. Now I want you to vibrate one more thought for me. This time, I want you to vibrate with a thought that you've already won the race. It's over. You just won. All that training and persistence paid off and you won the race. Congratulations, you did it. Feel that vibration. Hone in on it. Where do you feel it? How does it feel? Lock that in. Okay. Now you can let that go. How many of you noticed a difference between vibrating with the energy that you're going to win as opposed to you already have won the race? Most people notice this, but not everyone does. But it's really important because it's a totally different, vibrant energy thought. There's a big difference between I'm going to do something as opposed to I already have done something. So for this method to be effective, it must be done systematically and repetitively every day over a period of time. And I'm not talking about doing it all day. I'm talking about 5 minutes a day, 5 minutes out of your life to spend once a day, each day for 60 days, just vibrating with the energy that you already have the thing that you want. Some people think this method is a way to make the law of attraction work for them. Others think it causes the subconscious mind to keep whirring away in the background, forming the thoughts, habits, and actions that you need to achieve your goal. Whatever the way in which it works, it works. That's what matters. How it works is up for debate. I believe that the power is inside of us and that our subconscious mind does a lot of work for us when we're not aware of it. So much so that it brings persistent, vibrant thoughts into reality through opportunities, changes in habits, and actions that you take. Remember, in the inner world of your mind, for this 5 minutes out of your day, you're not at all limited to the constraints of what is real and what is not. We're talking about 5 minutes. 5 minutes for you to vibrate with the energy that you already have the thing that you want. And after that 5 minutes, you can let go of that vibrant energy thought and get back to your day. Now, we're going to look at 4 steps to reset your inner wealth set point. I first heard about the idea of an inner wealth set point from my friend Bob Proctor. I know he didn't come up with the idea. It's actually a concept that many high-level millionaires understand. But when I talk to people who are making more regular levels of income, I often discover they've never heard of it. So the way I see it, it's a little different than how other people describe it. The basic core notion is this. Unless something is done to break it, most people are held back by a subconscious limit that they've placed on their income. When I first heard of this concept, I thought it was ridiculous that this actually had any real effect, but then it made total sense to me when I saw how changing it affected my clients and their financial growth. The concept goes like this. If you have an air conditioner or some sort of heating system going on in your home and you make the temperature set point to be a certain level, well, it's likely to be where you feel comfortable and you'll normally leave it there. If your home becomes a little cooler while the system turns on and takes things back to the set point. If it's hot, then it comes on and cools things down. Well, imagine this working with your finances. You and I have internal set points with regards to our money. And these set points are designed to keep us inside or just below our financial comfort zone. Your inner wealth set point is responsible for keeping your wealth and your weekly cash flow within your current financial comfort zone. On autopilot, it raises doubts, fears, limitations, self-sabotaging behaviors, weird thoughts anytime you achieve more success than you were used to. Or at the very least, you achieve success, feel good about it, and your brain just makes you feel like you're at the top of the mountain. Any further possible rise in your situation is invisible to you and your mind. This inner set point makes you start procrastinating or taking on unimportant work or working on what other people should be doing. It makes you lie on the sofa watching more TV than you normally want to be watching if you had made a plan instead. And it makes you stop being productive when things are going okay. It makes you suddenly become super productive when things are going the wrong way. It also also makes you freeze and wallow in depression if things are going so bad that you see no way out. Whatever your wealth set point that you have become used to is, that's what's programmed into your subconscious mind, and that's where your wealth set point wants to keep you. Your mind influences your decisions, actions, and habits in many ways, well beyond what you will notice consciously. And these decisions, actions, and habits determine your success with money and your success with achieving your dream life. Your wealth set point isn't alive. It just is. It doesn't understand or care that your comfort level is depressed, broke, stressed, anxious, only just surviving, living in crisis territory. It doesn't know, understand, or care if your comfort level is happy, wealthy, free, healthy, and living in the dream life territory. It doesn't understand this, even if consciously you know you'd rather live in the dream life territory. So here's the question. How do you reset your wealth set point with updated settings for the amount of money you want to make and the kind of dream life that you want to enjoy? Let me take you through the 4 specific steps that you need to take to update your wealth set point to a higher level, to reprogram your mind to raise your wealth set point, to help you make more money. Let's start with the first step. Remember how earlier I mentioned that when I hit rock bottom, I meditated and I wrote down in specific detail what I want my dream life scenario to be like? Well, part of that was writing down exactly how much money I wanted to make. You can enter any amount that you like. But for now, just to keep things simple, let's start with that number being double the amount of money that you make right now. Don't worry if this is believable. Don't worry if this is possible. Don't worry how it's going to happen. I will show you that part later. I haven't even mentioned much about wealth vehicles or wealth pathways of millionaires, but those things are super valuable for creating side incomes that have the potential to skyrocket past your regular day job income. How to achieve any goal, putting all the steps together, always comes after you know what you want. When you know exactly what your goals are, it makes the process a lot easier. Okay, that's step 1. Write down how much you want to make and keep it simple for now. Just write down an amount that's double what you currently make. Secondly, it's critically important that you have the right mindset that supports achieving your income goals. What I want you to do is to keep this super simple. Just write down one belief that you know you'll need to have in order to successfully reach the wealth goal you set yourself in step 1. And this could be a belief about your own intelligence. It could be a belief about me and the process I'm teaching you. It could be a belief about your abilities and what's possible. Just write it down. Remember, brain studies have shown us that you need to believe a thought first at a subconscious level, and only when that belief takes hold do you start developing the neural pathways and actions necessary to turn those empowering thoughts into reality. It's really important that this is a new belief. Unless you receive an amazing amount of good luck, you won't outperform your innermost subconscious beliefs that you have about yourself. So it's important that those get changed, one thought or belief or habit at a time. Okay, let's look at step 3 now. I want you to write down one habit that you have that causes you to procrastinate and will hold you back from achieving your wealth goals. A really good example of this is, do you have a smartphone addiction? Do you go on social media too much? Or maybe you watch TV for a bit longer each day than you need to. Does this cause you to stall? Is this causing you to avoid making a real wealth success plan? Or does it make you avoid getting things done that will bring in more sales or income for you? All you need to do is write down one unproductive habit, one that you know for certain that you need to change right now. Fourth, and this is vital, you need to do what I did. You need to close your eyes and picture yourself and how you'd feel if this habit was gone. What would a typical day in your life look like? How does it feel to release the negative or limiting belief and now have more money flowing into your account than you'd ever dared to dream was possible before? Remember what I did when I had hit rock bottom. You might not be at rock bottom. You might be a super successful person right now, or at least comfortable, but this is still really important and valuable for your future success. I meditated and pictured what my dream house would look like. I pictured how it would feel to walk inside. I could even smell the newness of the kitchen and feel the satisfaction of knowing that I'd earned it. I pictured going on my dream vacation, and I even thought about charitable deeds that I could be doing. Make sure that you do this too. Write this down and do this later. Do not dismiss this meditation method. Most people miss out on the life-changing power of mentally imagining, seeing, and feeling their success every day. Yet it's vital to your future success. And it actually causes you to build new neural pathways in your brain. For children, forming new neural pathways and even overriding existing ones is pretty easy. However, for us adults, we've been spending years building deep-seated beliefs and thoughts and habits, and some serve us well, and there are others that hold us back and take time to overwrite. These deep-seated beliefs and thoughts and habits, they cause us to procrastinate, to experience negative emotions, and perform actions that are far away from our desired dream life situation. So it's super important that you ask yourself, what would you like to be running your life and determining your success with money? You and your new and improved positive thoughts and habits that will skyrocket your success with generating wealth, or your old beliefs that have held you back and caused you to become financially stuck? By continually reaffirming, emotionally visualizing, and rehearsing new beliefs, habits, and positive outcomes, you will upgrade your thinking, and your brain will start to think, feel, and act in ways that are required for you to actually earn the income you want, and most importantly, to achieve your dream life scenario and finally achieve success with money. Don't let your old, unmanaged thoughts and habits control you and your future success with money in life. If you keep doing what you were doing before, you'll get the same results. That's great if where you are now is where you want to be in the future. But if you're truly serious about creating and living your dream life, if you're truly committed to bringing in more wealth into your life, then it's super important that you take this opportunity to alter your wealth set point and reset it much higher. I hope you can begin to see what is possible for you in your life or business right now. And this works regardless of where in the world that you live, regardless of how high your wealth targets are. I can help you develop and insert the beliefs, habits, and behaviors of a multimillionaire. And I also share several different wealth pathways of millionaires so that you can start creating a passive side income that can become the support for your financial needs. And this is so that you can grow, double, or triple your income. So you're probably wondering, if this is so easy, why isn't everyone doing it? To answer that, here are 5 roadblocks that separate regular people from multimillionaires. Number 1, not choosing a wealth pathway. There are many different wealth pathway options. Just to hint at a few. Did you know that you can earn commissions online without even owning a product of your own? Or did you realize that you can make money hand over fist with a simplistic but proven approach to stock investing? Did you know that you can earn thousands of dollars online from physical products like bracelets, t-shirts, jewelry, kitchenware, and more without ever having to touch these items? Did you know that there's a proven method of real estate investment that actually generates a consistent positive cash flow? There's so many pathways. Let's look at the second of the 5 roadblocks that separate regular people from multimillionaires. Never allow people whom you are not inspired by to influence you in a negative way. Other people can play a critical role in your future success if you allow them to live rent-free in your mind. So make sure that you flood your mind with influence from people who already are where you want to be. Don't let people who are far from where you want to be influence you in your future success journey. Number 3 is, do not forget to leverage your time as much as possible. If you neglect the fact that money making is not a linear process, then it's easy to try to do everything yourself and forget to leverage the help of other people. Remember, there's only one of you. And the last thing that you want is to be the bottleneck in your own cash flow system. Sometimes it's much more efficient to delegate delegate a task to someone else than it is to just do it yourself. The more of your time that's spent growing your wealth rather than trading time for money on an hourly basis, the better. Number 4 is not joining a community of like-minded people. If you know at least one or more people who are on the same path as you are, well, it can be very beneficial to share what you're doing with them and listen to what they are doing. The result of doing this causes you to feel accountable to each other, and that accountability leads to getting even more things done in less time. Number 5 is remember to update your belief systems to love the journey you are on and see challenges as opportunities for learning and future success. Those people who embrace challenges in life are the ones who get the most success at the other end. Mistakes are inevitable. If you're not making mistakes, then you're either already super comfortable with where you are, or you're not extending yourself to become more successful. Now, there was a time 200 years ago when the only way to have light in your house at night was to light a candle or an oil lamp. Then, in 1802, Humphrey Davy invented the first electric light. While many of you may think that Thomas Edison invented the light bulb, that's another case of a commonly held belief that isn't actually true. There were many people who invented light bulbs before him. They just didn't last long enough to be commercially viable. However, in 1878, Thomas Edison discovered that a carbonized bamboo filament could last over 1,200 hours. This discovery marked the beginning of commercially manufactured light bulbs. Now, the reason I'm sharing this with you is that all of what went into making the light bulb a reality, electricity, the various coils he used that worked in a specific way, even the length of time the bamboo filament lasts, all of those things are governed by laws. Those laws existed 1,000,000 years ago, even before humans were around, and they certainly existed for hundreds and thousands of years of human history. It's just that nobody had made the discovery yet. There are many other laws that have been discovered over the course of our history. The law of gravity, quantum theory, DNA, the discovery of X-rays, microwaves, even the discovery of bacteria. All this stuff was already there. And the same goes for the 5 universal laws of miracle making. These are the invisible laws that have always been there that govern what happens to us in our lives. Understanding them will help shatter glass walls surrounding what you believe about yourself and what you can do and what is possible. And it'll free you up to get cracking on living your real life purpose and attracting more wealth and abundance than you ever may have imagined. The first universal law of miracle making is big dreams take as much effort to imagine as small dreams. This might sound obvious, but on a deeper subconscious level, your brain is running a lot of programs on autopilot, programs designed to protect you. So 5,000 years ago, if you were hungry and dreamed that you could go be a hero and wrestle a lion and take it back to your tribe as food, you would not have survived. Those people whose brains said, no, 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 that dream might cause you harm, those people survived and passed on their genes to us. But now, so many of our dreams are not life and death situations. If deep down you find it to be a more exciting dream to own a $1 million home, be able to go on overseas vacations every year and be debt-free, if you find that more exciting than a dream of getting a 2% pay raise, then damn well write it down. Let the universe know that's what you really want. You don't have to know how it's going to happen yet. That's not the point. With the right process in place, you can find the how later. But in order for great things in your life to happen, you first have to dream them and know what you'd really love to have happen. And this doesn't just apply to money making. Whether it's sports performance, health, your relationship situation, don't be afraid of dreaming big. The worst that can happen is the dream doesn't come true, but at least you had a good crack at it. And the best that happens, and so often happens, is that you actually do find a way to turn that dream into a reality. The next universal law of miracle making is you do not have to know the entire path in order to start walking it. When we start life, we try everything. In fact, we try almost too many things. That's why parents have to make sure little stones and marbles are nowhere near a baby, or they might just put one in their mouth and try to swallow it. But as a result of trying things, we learn things. Like with walking, we fall over, stumble, fall again, but eventually we learn to walk. When learning to ride a bike, we don't need to read a book or watch videos and expect to know everything before riding. No, we don't know exactly how it's done, but we give it a go, fall off our bikes, try again, and somehow or another one day we're riding. If you start a brand new mountain hike, you might know where the top of the mountain is and you might know where the start of the track is, but you may not know the way. It doesn't matter because you know that if you start the track, you'll figure it out as you go along. The path becomes more clear the longer you're on it. So if you want to become a millionaire, or if you want to start a new business, or if you want to lose 30 pounds of weight, or if you want to meet and attract the love of your life, or if you want to learn a foreign language, or if you want to train your dog, whatever it is that you truly desire, you totally do not have to know everything in order to make it happen. But you do need to set your dream in motion, even if you're not sure if it will work, and even if the path is not clear, and even if that means you'll make some mistakes along the way. And a simple way to do that is to make the commitment to yourself to spend at least 10 minutes every day actively doing something that moves you toward that goal. That something can be very small, but by being proactive and having that attitude of being proactive on a regular daily basis, you'll be amazed at how much clearer that path becomes over a matter of days and weeks to come. So in short, don't overthink everything. As Tina Fey once said, you can't be that kid standing at the top of the water slide overthinking it. You have to go down the chute. The next universal law of miracle making is, it is riskier to play it safe than to take calculated risks. If you want to make great things happen in your life, you do need to embrace risk taking. That doesn't mean you need to do something silly like going to the casino and gambling away your life savings. I'm meaning risks that involve investing in yourself, whether that means trying your hand at starting a new business or learning and investing in the stock market, or whether you want to try taking up a new yoga class or learning a foreign language. Yes, there's always the risk that you might fail, but there's also the exciting dream of what happens when you succeed. Which brings me to the next universal law of miracle making, and that's when you set out to do something, expect to succeed. Many of us have been taught since we were children to temper our expectations and to not get our hopes up. But there's been over 55 years of scientific research into the psychology of expectations, and all the proof shows that expectations of success leads to success. It all started back in 1963 when Robert Rosenthal, a university professor, gave his students groups of rats each. Some were given smart rats that had special genetics, and the others were given slow rats who were slow to learn. They were then asked to train the rats to run a maze. At the end of the week, the rats were all timed going through the maze, and sure enough, the smart rats had noticeably faster times than the other rats. After that, it was revealed that all the rats were exactly the same, and the only difference were the labels that had been given. Okay, that's great, but that wouldn't work on humans, right? Well, actually not long after, an experiment was done on children. This time, instead of running mazes, they got the kids to take an IQ test. Their elementary school teachers were then given a list of 20% of them who performed the best and 20% of whom did the worst. Later in the year, when a new IQ test was performed on the kids, the results reflected those initial results given to the teachers. Only the original kids' IQ test results were given out at random. Yet later, the kids who were expected to be brighter did succeed more. This experiment was repeated many times with the same results each time, and many similar experiments have been done. Now, something really interesting about all of this is that raising your own expectations can not only have massive consequences on your future results in life, it can also have life and death consequences. Researchers have found over a long period of time that most people live as long as they think they will live. So people who think that they'll live to about 75 tend to live to about 75. People who think they'll live till they're about 90 tend to live till they're about 90. So what happens to people who have too high expectations then? What about people who expect to become a billionaire or expect to live to 150 or expect to win the lottery? Well, on average, they tend to achieve much higher than average results. So it's actually safer, more exciting, and more strategically smart for you to go toward any dream you may have for yourself yourself and expect to succeed, even if you don't know what the path to get there is. The worst that can happen is that you'll still do better than you ever would have with lower expectations, and you'll still learn valuable lessons from every attempt that you make to succeed. The fifth universal law of miracle making is your thoughts hold immense power. Therefore, you must take control of your thoughts. Look around you. Almost everything you see is the result of either your thoughts or that of someone else's. Things come from thoughts. Life circumstances come from thoughts and decisions. So it makes sense in reverse that when we take control over our thoughts, we have more of what we want and we can experience more of what we want in life. Now, as many of you know, I'm a clinical hypnotherapist and have worked with thousands of people over the years, either in person or through my programs. I've helped people to achieve phenomenal success in many areas of life: health, wealth, relationships, success, happiness, and more. And from all my experience, I can categorically tell you that while most people understand this concept, most people do not pay anywhere near enough attention to actively choose their thoughts and nurture them. You may not even realize it, but there are thousands of thought tapes playing in your brain all the time. They're running in the background, deep in your subconscious mind, and they are invisibly affecting your outcomes in life at all moments. Some of those thoughts are disempowering, like I'm fat, or I'm not very smart, or I'm not very good looking, or I don't deserve this, or money is evil, and so on and so forth. That's why I think it's very important that at any time you find these kinds of thoughts floating around in your mind, that you acknowledge them and notice them. Write them down and write down an empowering thought that you wish you had instead. Then spend a little time each day imprinting that new thought on your mind. To me, self-hypnosis is the best way of doing this because I think it's super important to not just teach and walk people through to creating a life that they love. I think it's super important to help you reprogram your habits and thoughts at a deep subconscious level so that you become a natural magnet for more money, more happiness, more success, better health, and a wonderful love life. Now, I want to share with you 3 important life catapult habits you must keep in order to leap outside of the zone you currently live your life in, so that you can make sure that the next decade of your life is the best decade you've ever had. Life catapult habit number 1 is be proactive. Don't wait. If there's something you wished was different about your life, don't hesitate. Don't wait. Take a proactive step in the right direction and take daily action that moves your life forward. Please, if you're excited and committed to upgrading your life, if there's something in your life that you're interested in shattering your invisible glass ceiling on and leaping out of that zone you're in and into a higher one, whether that be in health, whether that's making more money, improving your love life, or gaining success in some other goal you have for yourself, I want to feel your energy and know that you're genuinely excited about your capacity for making great things happen. And that's no matter what your situation is right now, no matter what your age is right now, or what has happened that brought you to where you are in life right now. Now is the moment. Don't hesitate. Seize the moment and commit to living your dream life starting today. Life catapult habit number 2 is be stubbornly persistent. Napoleon Hill, the author of Think and Grow Rich, says, "Those who have cultivated the habit of persistence seem to enjoy insurance against failure. No matter how many times they are defeated, they finally arrive up toward the top of the ladder. Sometimes it appears that there is a hidden guide whose duty is to test men through all sorts of discouraging experience. Those who pick themselves up after defeat and keep on trying arrive, and the world cries, 'Bravo, I knew you could do it.' The hidden guide lets no one enjoy great achievement without passing the persistence test. Those who can't take it simply do not make the grade." So the moral of this particular message is that without persistence, you may be unwittingly opening yourself up to defeat even before you start. However, with persistence ingrained as a habit, you will win. Sometimes the greatest things in life are just outside your comfort zone, but if it's worth it to you, then you'll persist. You'll thrive. You'll inspire others by your success. Life catapult habit number 3 is surround yourself with people who are on the same path as you are. When you get to know more people who are on the same path as you, even if it's not in person, even if it's just online by joining a community of like-minded people, you tend to find it much more natural and easy to keep taking daily action toward your goals. Not only that, but you'll find it more fun. It can be very beneficial to share what you're doing with them and listen to what they're doing. The result of doing this causes you to feel accountable to each other, and that accountability leads to getting even more things done in less time. And one thing I want to reiterate, by the way, is that it's super important that no matter where you are in life right now, you need to love the journey you're on and see any challenges in life as opportunities for learning and future success. Those people who embrace challenges in life are the ones who get the most success. I'm very interested in making a difference in your life and getting you on a path to massive life success. I hope that this has been eye-opening for you, and more importantly, I hope that I've inspired you to understand that you can change the way you think. And when you do that, you can achieve what you want in your life. When you change your brain, you can achieve the wealth, happiness, and success you are fully capable of achieving. And it doesn't matter what age you are or where in the world you live. If you want to make a change in your life, if you want to attract more of what you want into your life, just remember, sometimes it's the smallest decisions that change your life forever. And I can't help but think back to when I was borderline bankrupt. I was clueless as to what to do next. I had no idea how I was going to get out of that mess. And there, it really all began with that one fateful decision that I was just going to make a change. It was just that one decision that sparked a chain reaction, and all of those other great things happened. And it's really scary and haunting to think about it. If I didn't make that one decision, nothing would have happened, and I would have gone bankrupt. My life would have plummeted even further into despair, and I wouldn't have had the incredible success in business and wealth generation, in my health, and the rest of my life that I have had. I wouldn't have been able to inspire others and help others achieve their best selves also. That's a little scary for me to think about. So you want to make a decision to change, and you need to take that action right now. You know you don't want to end up still in the same place 5, 10 years from now thinking about what could have been. You want to make it happen. You owe it to yourself, and you owe it to your loved ones for you to live your dream life and to inspire others with your success. And just remember, sometimes it's the smallest decisions that change your life forever. It's your time, you know.